All right, episode 34, Phumblepodcast. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Today we're talking about that logo and what it means in general, and then what it means to me specifically. And my wife is calling me in the middle of my podcast. All right, first of all, let me tell you what that stands for. I will never break. Let me know in the comments if you've seen that logo, or if you are familiar with, or if you are even part of the greater straight edge community. And that's where that comes from. It is from straight edge clothing brands that I've learned about this. You've probably seen me on previous episodes wearing edge shirts or straight edge apparel shirts. My favorite logo from straight edge is that I will never break. It's more of a mentality. And for those of you who don't know what straight edge is it is a mindset. It is a choice ultimately to refrain from vices, right? There's no judgment on this podcast. I'm not casting any ill will towards people who do drink or smoke. I just don't, right? And I'm just coming on here to share my own story because some of you had asked about that on previous episodes where you had seen my shirts. So I'm gonna tell you. All right. It's ironic because I just shared the story. My for those who don't know, my uncle recently passed away in Iran from COVID. And so we had a memorial for him. And so what happened was we were sharing positive thoughts, positive memories. And my earliest memory of my uncle was when I was 3 or 4 years old. I remember it like yesterday. We were sitting in my parents' living room. He comes over, and he was a smoker. And he had his cigarette in hand, lit. And me, I reached to grab it. I reached to grab the cigarette. And at first, he moved his hand. He moved it back so that I wouldn't get burned, A, and B, be able to grab it. However, within a few seconds later, he looked at my dad, and they kind of made a decision non-verbally to let me grab the cigarette and see what I do with it. So he handed me the cigarette, and me always seeing him put the cigarette in his mouth. Again, I'm 3 or 4 years old. I was mimicking him, right? So imagine this is a cigarette, I put it, and then I literally went, I like sucked it in, right? Because I didn't know how it goes, what the process is. So he goes, and I'll never forget this. My uncle says, you're not supposed to breathe through your mouth. You're supposed to breathe in through your nose. So he actually taught me the proper way of inhaling the smoke of a cigarette. So I did it. I inhaled it through my nose and immediately coughed for what felt like 3 hours. I just kept coughing. I share that story because when I got older, I thought about that and I realized why he did that, why he taught it to me at that young adolescent age. He wanted me to go through that bad experience of the cigarette so that I would be grossed out by it. And it worked. It worked because I can honestly tell you that was the last time I touched a cigarette at the age of 3 or 4. I took one puff. It took one proper puff for me to realize I don't want it, because it was not a pleasant experience for me. So I guess you can say I went straight edge as far as cigarettes are concerned from that young age. And I hope he's resting easy up there, and watching over us. Drinking. This is now, there was 2 instances. One I just explained at 3 or 4 where I had a bad experience with the cigarettes. There's another instance where I had a bad experience with drinking, and this would be my last time, and where I basically committed comfortably, I should say, because I never really craved alcohol or any of those categories of vices. When I was 21 or 22 years old, I worked at a restaurant, and we always had parties after our shifts were over. I being 22, young, and you could say like entering my prime of my youth, I wanted to keep up with the Joneses, as they say, and I partook in the drinking with them. But that lasted all about of 3 months. My journey in drinking. I never was happy when I would drink, and I would actually get all quiet and down and sad and felt bad for myself. And I think what really was the reason behind that was that I didn't feel that I needed alcohol to have fun. And in fact, when I would drink, I wouldn't have fun. I would be actually more down and sad. It all ended for me where my dad saw me with a bottle of wine. It was at a small family reunion we had somewhere in the Bay Area, and another family member and I were the house that we had as the part of the Airbnb was they had complimentary wine bottles, so we fetched it and we went, and it was there was a dock that went into the middle of this lake that we were near, and we went and sat there, and my dad's unbeknownst to me had saw us do that, came out, and he said, "What do you have in your hand?" This is the first time he's learning that I was drinking. And I was honest. I said, "It's wine." He didn't say a word to me. He turned around and went back inside, and the next 3 days he didn't speak to me. Usually my dad would be very vocal about if he disapproved. My family's they came from a very religious background and all that. And again, I was this 22-year-old not really thinking straight, but that straightened me out. After that, the disappointment I felt for myself, and I felt like I let him down. That was the last bit of my escapade with drinking. And like I said, I wasn't even happy when I did it. So I realized, you know what? This is a chance for me to be myself and not worry about perhaps disappointing friends or acquaintances that I would hang out with. And I became more and more proud of that. And then I started learning about the straight edge movement or community, and I felt like I can fuck with that. That was who I was. I'm not a vegan. I do have my occasional meats and all that. So I'm not hardcore. In fact, I don't believe in being hardcore in any area. I will refrain from drinking and smoking until my last breath. I can tell you that. I think because it resonates with me. It's more than just saying no to alcohol and cigarettes. It's a mindset of what I believe in and about myself and loving myself for who I am. So that was that was really the main two reasons why I choose the straight edge life. And it's funny because I Will Never Break is on one of my jackets. I will be getting this inked on me in the near future, which there will be a vlog about that. So stay tuned. So anyway, that's my story, straight edge. It's a short episode this week. I just wanted to share that with you guys. I know some of you have asked me. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this logo, the straight edge community, and if any of you have had stories like that, I'd love to read them in the comments. Don't forget, as always, it'll help me out. Hit that bell, hit that subscription button. Follow me on IG and TikTok. I post comedy content all day, every day. So you know where to find me, Pej the Maniac. This has been episode 34. I will never break. That's who I am. Don't forget. See you on the next one.